So your current position is the Six of Pentacles. Let me get that in here. The Six of Pentacles. And this is a card that is really showing two sides of the coin, if you will. One is giving and one is receiving. And so if you're in a position to be able to help others in December and to be generous with your time, your energy, your resources, then it's so fulfilling. And so there's an opportunity. You're thinking about how perhaps to help others. Now, the other thing with this card is that sometimes we need help, and particularly during the holiday time frame, we need a little extra boost. Not everyone loves the holidays, and it's tough for certain people. And so you can see people here are, seeking help. So if you need to seek help in December, if you need a hand, don't be afraid to ask for it. There are many organizations, there are people who genuinely want to assist. So whether you are in a position to give of your time or your energy or resources, or whether you need the help, be mindful that, both of these things are happening in December. So what's crossing you is the Knight of Pentacles. And so the Knight of Pentacles, we see the knight here stationary on his horse, observing his coin. And he's certainly not moving anywhere. This is it's a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And this is about really planning, working hard, being very diligent in what you're doing. So you may be working hard in December to meet those deadlines. You may be working hard to plan parties or events for family coming in, sightseeing, whatever it may be. There's a sense here of studious, of loyalty, and really working hard. Well, the hallmark of Pentacles is common sense and grounded approach. So while you're in this December mode, it would be a good thing to look at things practically and with a very grounded perspective. In your foundation, we have the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is a card of movement, things moving, the world is turning, events unfold. Some are planned, some are random, and it's a matter of how we kind of respond to the Wheel of Fortune and to all the things that happen to us. So hopefully good things will be happening for you in December. And, this is also could be thought of as, fate or destiny, that the universe is kind of putting something in your way for you to meet and to handle. So that's, this indicates activities. Things are spinning in your favor. You just have to be careful that sometimes the wheel gets stuck or jammed, and you have to be flexible and you have to be able to adapt. But this is that, all of the spokes within the wheel within your life are moving and moving and moving, and how we respond, how we work within all the changes that may happen, speak to who we are. In your recent past, the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a wonderful card. It's a card of love, harmony, relationships, the potential of meeting someone if you haven't met someone, of a really solid opportunity for a romance. And if you're with someone, this may suggest that you may be getting more serious. Maybe there's an engagement. Maybe you're becoming exclusive, perhaps moving in together. But this is a card where people are really designed and perhaps destined to be with each other. You meet someone and you click and you finish their sentences and you just have a great time, and you feel as if you're not watching the clock, and it really wouldn't matter where you are. As long as you're with this person, that's what counts. And that's really what the Two of Cups represents, which is a very deeply bonded relationship. You can see they're about the same height. that has equality and has a lot of love and delight for each other. So this is emotionally connected and bonded. What's crowning you is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, is actually the moon. So this is an interesting card because this is about really intuition and trusting your intuition and listening to your inside voice. What is it trying to tell you? Telling you through what you see, what you hear, the little signposts along the way, following the breadcrumbs, and, diving deep within your psyche. You know best, and you know yourself best. And I think with the High Priestess, it says, trust yourself, trust your instinct, and particularly trust your instinct when the Two of Cups turns up. Trust your instinct and listen to your dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. Don't blow them off. Maybe write them down. Think about what is trying to be revealed. Now, often the High Priestess can also suggest secrets. But we all have secrets. We all have hidden talents. We all have things that we keep to ourselves and we don't reveal. So, how I look at it, it's up to you what you want to bring forth and what you want to reveal. It also could suggest someone else is keeping secrets. So, you'll just be mindful of that. In your near future is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is Taurus. And this Hierophant is, he is about the conventions of society and traditions and structure. So you can see it almost looks like he's the Pope with his disciples here in front of him. And this could be a time where you are spending, some of your time learning, studying with a professor or a mentor, getting additional studies, having a mentor actually at the office. This can go to society's norms of, you follow the path of getting this type of job or that kind of job. So for you, Gemini, there's an element of what you're going to be faced with is that you're going to be perhaps expected to follow the norms of society or the traditions. And again, it could mean wanting to get engaged, wanting to be thinking about marriage. That's a pretty big one in terms of structure and tradition. Where you are right now is the Hermit. And the Hermit is about, again, more diving deep for yourself, self-reflection, figuring out what you feel, where you stand right now, where do you want to go within your life, what do you hope to achieve, and have your actions been consistent with where you are right now? Is there anything or any patterns that you could change? So this is really a time to carve out for yourself that's alone time. And again, December is a busy month for many. Not all, but many have, social obligations, things to do, closing deadlines for the end of the year. So if you can find some time to meditate, if you can find some time to do, just some calm reflection or walks in nature, so you can think about your life and what's going on with your life, then that will be helpful to you. In your environment is the Queen of Swords, and this is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. And you can see this is a very decisive queen. The queen brings to us clarity, strong communication, rational and reasonable thinking. She's coming from an intellectual perspective, not necessarily an emotional perspective. So along with this practical energy that the Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles is bringing you, and the Six of Pentacles, here's this other piece, which is be smart and think about what you say and think about what you're doing. And if you're going to be signing any contracts, if you're going to be doing anything that has like legal consequences, just do your homework. Be informed and look at both sides. And this is, she's typically a fair ruler. someone who is able to make decisions based on the facts, not necessarily from an emotional perspective. In your hopes and fears, we have the Two of Swords. And you can see in this illustration that the woman here is blindfolded, and she is, she has those swords crossing her heart. There's an element here of not wanting to face a truth, perhaps, or a situation, that you're kind of blocking yourself off. Often twos suggest some decision to be made, and so maybe, you're trying to make a decision when it comes to romance, and perhaps you're not really seeing some of the truth about someone. So that's something for you to think about. And maybe the Queen of Swords here is telling you to be smart. Use your head. Don't get caught up in your emotions. Along with that, though, you have the benefit of the High Priestess. So not only is the Pentacles are giving you this grounded energy, you have all of the resources here to be able to work through this. This is feeling just difficulty with making a decision. Blindfolded, ultimately you might take off the blindfold. You might be able to see the truth for what it is. But this could be that there's something that isn't being revealed. And in your outcome, it's the Devil. So with the Devil, the Devil is such an interesting card, and the Devil is Capricorn. So with the Devil, we're looking at really the things that we do to ourselves that hold us back, that keep us from achieving our highest purpose, our highest potential. It can involve too much drinking, too much eating, too much just excessive behavior, whether it's fooling around and shenanigans with couples or whatever it may be, or people. There's a sense here that something is coming into your life that is limiting you, and you have to deal with it. When you look closely at this illustration, you see that the couple, it's like almost making fun of the lovers. The couple here, they're loosely bound. And so they could slip out of those chains. They just have to take that step. So when we have things that limit us, it's really up to you to take the first step to try to get out of that situation. Sometimes the Devil can suggest, a third party or a betrayal, infidelity. But really, if you look at the heart of it, it's the activities and the actions that a person takes that limits them, that really stalls their progress, and particularly their spiritual progress. And, everybody has their thing. So find a way just kind of to step away from these chains, to loosen the chains so that you can free yourself from some of these, some of these things that may be on your mind in December. The world is moving. It's moving and, constantly spinning. The wheels are in motion. You handle things in life. You deal with the situations as they pop up. You have an opportunity for a relationship, to meet someone. You have to be present. You have to be open for that. You're thinking about giving, or perhaps needing a little assistance, but there's a sense of charity here. There's some planning going on, practical, slow movement. And then we're kind of along with this cautionary work here. There's this, the Hierophant, which is kind of leading you to traditional thinking. And all of this is, there's a real message here of going within yourself, with the High Priestess and the Hermit, which is to pay attention to what your mind is telling you, what your soul is telling you, and your subconscious, and to really honor what you're hearing from yourself. And then we have the Two of Swords, of feeling unable to make a decision, unable to face the truth. The Queen can help you give clarity. She can help you communicate your ideas. She really wants you to use your intellectual capabilities. And so with the Queen, we have all elements represented in your reading for this month. We have the Cups, the Two of Cups. We have Pentacles, grounded, practical energy. We have traditions. We have limiting actions of the devil. We have self-awareness, self-reflection with the Hermit. And we have just a sense here. What am I seeing? I just feel that you have some things coming your way that you're going to have to really dig deep within to move forward. And that's clearing out your limiting beliefs and making some choices, allowing yourself to have opportunities to see someone, to build a relationship, to strengthen an existing relationship, and, pay attention to your instincts, pay attention to your intuition. So now I'd like to pull a love card. I'd like to get a little more information to see what's going on with love for you, Gemini. So you are in a nice position to be able to pursue something, and it may have some possibilities when we see the Hierophant of this traditional thinking and traditional paths of romance. Also, if you pay attention to your intuition and you think clearly and logically, if you get a little bit of both, then you're in great shape. So you really do have, that's between the Two of Cups and the Romance, this is two great cards to have. And finally, I'd like to close the reading, and we'll get a sense of a focus area for you for the month. Undying love. The love you have shared is eternal regardless of the situation. Isolde. So this is a beautiful card, and whether you're in this relationship and whether you meet someone, this bodes well that this is a powerful connection. And, eternal love doesn't always have to be passionate, romantic love. Love can be many different ways, but, I feel like this is undying love, potential for a romance for you.